Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, an intriguing coin that has turned heads in the world of numismatics. If you happen to have one in exceptional condition, you might just be sitting on a genuine treasure. This 1965 Washington quarter, which was struck without a mint mark, is a fascinating historical artifact, and it's worth more than you might expect. But what makes this particular coin so special? Let's break down its rarity, condition, and its current value. To truly grasp the worth of the 1965 Washington quarter, it's essential to understand its historical significance. In 1965, the United States made a dramatic shift in the composition of its coins. As the price of silver rose, many coins were redesigned, and the Washington quarter was no exception. For the first time in U.S. history, quarters were no longer made from 90% silver, and most notably, the mint mark was removed from the reverse side of the coin. In earlier years, the mint mark indicated where the coin was produced, whether in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. However, in 1965, the mint mark was omitted for quarters and half dollars as part of a move to reduce production costs and streamline the minting process. This made quarters from this year distinct from the earlier versions. Now, let's take a closer look at the design. The Washington quarter was introduced back in 1932, designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse features a portrait of Washington, while the reverse showcases an eagle. The design has remained mostly unchanged over the years, but the absence of the mint mark on the 1965 coin sets it apart from its predecessors. When we talk about excellent condition, we're referring to a coin that exhibits little to no signs of wear. A coin in excellent condition should have sharp details and no noticeable scratches or imperfections. If you happen to find a 1965 Washington quarter in this pristine state, it is highly rare and immensely desirable to collectors. So, what's the 1965 Washington quarter worth today? Well, that depends on several factors like its condition and any distinguishing features it might have. A typical 1965 Washington quarter in excellent condition could be valued at around $95,000, but if you come across one that's near perfect, the price could soar. For example, a 1965 quarter that's been graded as mint state, meaning it's virtually flawless and uncirculated, can fetch upwards of $120,000 or even higher, depending on demand from collectors. But why is this coin so valuable? For one, its historical importance plays a major role. The shift in U.S. coinage during the 1960s makes the 1965 quarter a unique symbol of that period. Additionally, the absence of a mint mark adds an extra layer of intrigue for collectors, making it even more sought after. Of course, the condition of the coin is key when determining its worth. If your 1965 Washington quarter shows any signs of wear, it will likely be worth less. However, if you manage to find one that's been well preserved or graded by a professional, its value can dramatically increase. Looking at the market, rare coins like the 1965 Washington quarter are becoming more in demand. As time passes, well-preserved coins become increasingly scarce, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. If you're considering investing in rare coins, the 1965 Washington quarter should definitely be on your radar. If you think you might have a rare 1965 Washington quarter in excellent condition, it's worth getting it professionally graded. A certified coin can help you understand its true value and protect your investment if you ever decide to sell or trade it in the future. Next up, the 1983 Washington quarter dollar with D mint mark. The Washington quarter first appeared in 1932 to mark George Washington's 200th birthday. Its classic design, a portrait of Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse, became iconic, and it's a coin that collectors eagerly seek out. The 1983 Washington quarter continues this tradition, but what makes the 1983 D version stand out is its unique qualities. Minted at the Denver Mint, the D mint mark indicates that this particular coin has a slightly different history from those produced at other U.S. mints. But here's the kicker, while many 1983 D quarters are found in circulation, the key to their value lies in their condition and any minting errors. Now, what makes this coin interesting is its potential value. A typical 1983 D quarter in good condition might not seem like much on its own, but when you look closer, things get intriguing. In good condition, it's likely to have some visible wear but still retains enough of its original details to make it desirable to collectors. What really sets this coin apart from the rest, though, is the possibility of unique minting errors. Coins that have been struck off-center, for example, or have die cracks, where the design has been slightly misaligned, are particularly valuable. Those small imperfections can make a world of difference when it comes to its worth. One of the most exciting things about this coin is that, even though it's a 1983 issue, certain versions can fetch up to $120,000 when they feature rare errors or are in particularly pristine condition. Now, you might not come across a quarter worth that much every day, but if you're lucky enough to find one with a subtle minting flaw, it can truly increase the value. Coins with errors such as double strikes or off-center minting are highly sought after by collectors. These imperfections are something that most people wouldn't notice at first glance, but they're what make a coin truly rare. When you're checking your own quarters, make sure to look closely for any signs of errors. It's easy to miss at first, but once you know what to look for, the value of a coin can rise dramatically. A double die error, for example, occurs when the coin is struck by the same die twice, creating a doubling effect on the design. This is something many collectors covet because it's a rare and distinctive feature. Another error to watch out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not positioned correctly in the minting machine, leading to an image that's slightly off-center. Both of these mistakes can boost a coin's value significantly, especially if the coin is graded highly. So, how do you spot these valuable features? First, it's all about closely inspecting the design of the coin. Look at Washington's portrait and the date to see if there's any unusual doubling. Check for any misalignments in the image or lettering. If the coin's edges seem uneven, that could be another clue that the strike was off-center. If you're unsure whether your coin has a minting error, it's a good idea to have it professionally authenticated and graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. That way, you'll know exactly what you have and can make informed decisions about its value. Even though the 1983 D Washington quarter is relatively common, the beauty of coin collecting lies in the details. A coin that seems ordinary at first glance might be hiding something extraordinary, and the joy of discovering that rare gem is what makes this hobby so exciting. Remember, the condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A well-preserved coin with a minor minting flaw can be far more valuable than one that's seen years of wear and tear. So, it's important to treat your collection with care. Keep your coins in good condition, store them properly, and inspect them regularly to see if any of them might have those elusive minting errors that could make them worth a lot more than you expected. And that's the 1983 Washington quarter with the D mint mark in good condition. It's an interesting piece, and though it may not always command huge sums, its potential for rare minting errors makes it a must-know coin for any collector. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned numismatist, this quarter is one that can catch your eye if you know what to look for. As always, the key is paying attention to the details, doing your research, and getting your coins graded if you think you found something special. The 1981 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin from the early 80s, but when you take a closer look, you'll see that this quarter has become quite valuable in today's market. Before we get into its current value, let's cover some basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 and has become one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. By the time 1981 rolled around, the coin's design was mostly unchanged, but there were some important differences that make this particular coin worth exploring. In 1981, the D Mint mark was used, signifying that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. This year marked a key point in the history of the quarter, making the D Mint marked version a bit rarer than its counterparts from other years. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse side, we have the classic profile of George Washington. This portrait has been used since 1932, but the sharpness of the details on a coin in fine condition really stands out. Washington's profile appears regal, with each line and curve reflecting the dignity of one of the nation's most important figures. On the reverse side, we see the eagle perched proudly on a branch, holding a shield. The words United States of America and E pluribus unum are boldly displayed. The design itself represents the nation's strength and unity, and it's an emblem that has remained timeless for nearly a century. But what makes the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark particularly special is that these coins were minted with slightly different techniques, making them a sought-after item for collectors today. Now, when it comes to the 1981 Washington quarter, most of the coins you'll come across today are in circulation condition. This means they've been in daily use for years and have likely seen some wear and tear. These coins are still interesting, but they don't carry much value unless they're in near-perfect condition. But here's the exciting part. 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition are much rarer than you might think. Fine condition means the coin has experienced some wear, but the important details, like Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse, are still very much visible. The sharpness of the design is what makes these coins stand out. As time goes on, the number of these coins in fine condition continues to dwindle. They were circulated for years, and many were lost, damaged, or just spent. That makes the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark in fine condition a true collector's find. So, what makes this coin so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Since many of these coins were circulated heavily, those that are still in fine condition are increasingly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. In fact, 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition have been known to fetch as much as $80,000 or more on the market. That's right, up to $80,000 for a single coin, depending on its grade and overall demand at the time. Of course, not every coin will fetch that price, but coins in great condition, especially those without heavy scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage, are in high demand. The 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark has become one of the hidden gems in the world of coin collecting, and its value is expected to keep rising as more collectors discover just how rare these coins are. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare and unique coins, and the 1981 Washington quarter with AD mint mark fits the bill. It's not as famous as some of the other rare coins out there, but it's definitely gained a strong following over the years. Coin dealers are also keeping a close eye on these coins. Many specialize in finding specific mint marks or years, like this one, and they know that a fine condition 1981 mint marked quarter is a valuable addition to any collection. If you're just getting into coin collecting, or if you've been at it for a while, this coin is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Its value will only continue to rise as it becomes harder and harder to find in good condition. So, what do you think? Have you come across any 1981 Washington quarters with AD mint mark in fine condition? Maybe you have one in your collection or even in your pocket right now. It might not be as famous as some of the other coins out there, but the 1981 Washington quarter with the D mint mark is a hidden gem, and its value continues to climb. With some examples fetching up to $80,000, it's a coin that's definitely worth paying attention to. The 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark is part of the standard series minted in Philadelphia. Now, typically, quarters produced in Philadelphia before 1980 didn't feature a mint mark, so this is not unusual in that sense. But let's focus on why this specific coin, in fine condition, might be worth more than you'd expect. In terms of mintage, the 1969 Washington quarter has a total of 276 million coins minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This is a large number, meaning that there are many available in circulation. So, what makes it stand out to collectors? It's all about the condition and the subtle details that separate one coin from another. When we look at a fine condition coin, we're talking about a piece that has been used but still shows some distinct features. Fine condition coins show noticeable wear, but the features of the coin are still clear. On this 1969 Washington quarter, you'll notice the profile of George Washington, the details in his hair, the sharpness of the word liberty, and the date. The eagle on the reverse side still shows enough detail in the feathers, wings, and claws to make it an appealing piece to collectors. Now, let's talk about the market value. For a 1969 Washington quarter without a mint mark in fine condition, the value will typically range between $700 to $1,200. While that's not a huge sum by itself, there's potential for a more significant value if the coin has certain characteristics that set it apart from others, such as being in better than average condition or having some form of error. This brings us to a critical point for collectors to watch for. The Washington quarters from the 1960s, while not rare in terms of mintage, are often subject to certain errors or varieties that can significantly raise their value. For example, in some cases, you may come across a 1969 Washington quarter with a misstruck design, where the coin has an off-center strike, doubling of letters, or even a die crack. These are the kinds of things that are considered by collectors and can greatly increase the coin's worth. Though these errors are not always easy to spot, an off-center strike or die crack can easily bump the value of your 1969 Washington quarter into the $40,000 to $50,000 range, a value you certainly wouldn't expect from a standard coin, but one that is very real for the rarer examples. For a collector who is still building a Washington quarter collection, the 1969 Washington quarter in fine condition is an excellent choice. Its relatively low value, compared to other rarer Washington quarters, makes it an accessible addition to your collection, yet it's a coin with historical significance. The 1960s were a time of significant change in America, and coins like the 1969 quarter carry with them a tangible link to that era. Also worth noting is that the market for Washington quarters has been steadily growing. The allure of silver coins has always been a part of the numismatic world, and the Washington quarter, especially those minted before 1965, are frequently sought after by silver enthusiasts. While the 1969 quarter is made of clad copper nickel, it remains an integral part of the larger Washington quarter set. So, while it may seem like a relatively common coin, the 1969 Washington quarter in fine condition still holds its place in numismatic history. Next up, let's take a look at the 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark. What makes this coin stand out, and why is it commanding higher prices in today's coin market? Let's dive into it. At first glance, the 1989 Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint might seem like just another everyday coin in circulation. But there's more to it than meets the eye. When you find one in very fine condition, it really shines compared to other quarters from its era. Though often overlooked, this coin holds a significant place in the rare coin market today. Let's examine this coin a bit more closely. The 1989 Washington quarter features the iconic design by John Flanagan, showcasing George Washington in profile. On the back, you'll spot the classic eagle perched on an olive branch, symbols of peace and strength. Now, about that mint mark. The 1989 Washington quarter carries the P mint mark, which means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark is especially important because, since 1979, it's been the only mint mark used on quarters from Philadelphia. So, a 1989 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in very fine condition is already pretty rare. In coin collecting, very fine refers to a coin that shows moderate wear but still has clearly defined details. The Washington portrait, the eagle, and other designs are still sharp and easy to see, though there may be light wear on the higher areas of the coin. What makes the 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark valuable today? It's all about scarcity and demand. Even though millions of these quarters were struck, very fine examples, especially ones without excessive wear, are far less common. While the coin was produced in large numbers for circulation, over time many were lost or became damaged. As a result, fewer well-preserved examples are available, making them more attractive to collectors. Depending on the condition, a 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition could be worth anywhere around $90,000. When compared to other coins from the same year, such as pennies, nickels, and dimes, the Washington quarter stands out thanks to its lasting durability and the fact that fewer of them remain in great condition. So, why should you think about adding the 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark to your collection? For seasoned collectors, it's clear that owning coins with historical significance and rarity is always appealing. For beginners, this quarter can serve as a solid starting point in building a collection of modern U.S. coins. Additionally, it could be a great investment for those looking to diversify their portfolio. Modern quarters like the 1989 P mint mark have the potential to increase in value over time, especially when they are well preserved. As fewer of these coins remain in excellent shape, they are becoming increasingly sought after by collectors. Plus, there's always the excitement of potentially finding one in your spare change. Whether you're completing your collection or just beginning, the 1989 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in very fine condition is a coin you won't want to overlook. While it may not be the rarest coin in existence, it certainly holds a special place in U.S. coinage history. Next up, let's take a look at the 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Today, we're focusing on the 1973 Washington quarter. When it comes to mint marks, the 1973 issue is somewhat understated, especially when compared to years with special mint marks or unique editions, like proof coins or special series. In 1973, the quarter was produced at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, which is the focus of this discussion. While quarters from Denver and San Francisco also made up part of the year's production, it's the unmarked Philadelphia quarters that tend to capture the attention of collectors. Now, let's explore why this coin has gained more value today. In the world of coin collecting, very good condition might sound less impressive, but don't let the term fool you. A coin in very good condition means that it shows some wear, but its design and details remain clear and intact. For the 1973 Washington quarter, this is important, particularly if it's one of the coins that managed to survive circulation in decent condition. The unmarked 1973 quarter is more valuable than you might think, primarily because of its rarity in well-preserved form. As time passes, fewer and fewer quarters from this era are found in great shape, especially those without a mint mark. The scarcity of these well-preserved examples is what's driving up their value. So, how much could this coin be worth today? Let's take a closer look at its current market value. On average, a 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very good condition can be worth anywhere around $120,000. But here's the catch: if you come across one of these quarters in even better condition, or if it's part of a rare coin collection, the value could go up significantly. And, of course, if the coin features an unusual error or defect, that could send its value through the roof. For now, the very good condition 1973 quarters are still holding steady value, especially among collectors looking to complete their Washington quarter sets. As is the case with all collectible coins, condition is everything. The better the state of preservation, the higher the coin's value. So, why are collectors so eager to add the 1973 Washington quarter, specifically the one without a mint mark, to their collections? Well, this coin represents an important year in U.S. numismatic history. The Washington quarter is one of the most popular and widely collected coin series in America. Each year, new coins are minted, and collectors often search for those with special characteristics, minting errors, or those that are simply becoming rare as time goes on. In a world where coin values can change, owning a 1973 quarter without a mint mark appeals to collectors aiming to complete a set or acquire a piece of American history. To wrap it up, the 1973 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very good condition may not seem like the most exciting coin at first, but it's definitely worth keeping in a collection. It serves as a reminder of the charm and worth that older, well-maintained coins can hold. While it may not be as valuable as some rarer coins, its scarcity and demand in the market have helped keep it a relevant and desirable piece in the world of coin collecting.